Hey everybody, it's Chris, and tonight we're doing overstable fairways, part 2. Now this is going to include some older molds, as well as a very limited run of a couple discs as well. So let's start with XXX, the original Latitude 64 overstable driver. Now the first time I threw this, I thought, that didn't seem like a XXX, and that's because this one is super beaten in. It's actually got some dog gnaws on it as well. It looks like it was retrieved by dogs a few times. And then to fix that, I went and got a fresher XXX, but it's domier than I remembered, and it's moonshine. So I had to talk to some people, and I'm going to tell you right now, the XXX is actually, the old run XXX is one of the most overstable fairways I've ever thrown, bar none. These throw more like a Pioneer or a Felon, and you're going to see that in flight. So if you're looking for a super overstable XXX, I confirmed with a couple guys on Team Dynamic, look for the flat top ones, because they are mean. These new domier ones, or this dog-chewed one, not as mean, still good, useful, Pioneer or Felon, so if you like the feel of the disc but you want straighter, go with one of the newer runs. It's still going to be super reliable, it's just not going to be that stupid meat hook that the old XXXs were, and when I say stupid in this case, I actually mean great because it faded hard. Next up, Trident. If you know somebody who loves the Trident, they will tell you all about it, because they probably love it. This is, I think, one of the most unique discs in any of the three lineups. I think it's one of the most unique discs just in general from Trilogy. That was repetitive, I apologize. But anyway, the shape of the swing I think makes it one of the best flare skip discs I've ever thrown. And again, if you love them, you love them. You're going to try to get a replacement because you just can't get many of them now. Super cool disc. You're going to see a lot of good flights out of it in the video. Again, just reliable fade, etc. Dave Feldberg Sparks. Now you're thinking, I've thrown a GL Spark, or I've thrown a recycled Spark. They're more like an Explorer or an Evader. Yes, they are. But these original Opto releases, this is Opto, were again a lot more like a Pioneer or a Felon, and you're going to see that in flight. You're going to get that really hard pull with a little bit of fade, or a little bit of turn, because you tipped it, and then it's going to fade hard. It is an overstable fairway for sure. And it's just those. I don't know if there are any new Opto runs, but these original Opto release, Dave Feldberg signature, nice and overstable. And then finally we have the Lucid-X Evader, but not any Lucid-X Evader. We're going stiff pop-top dome Lucid-X Evader. These are the most overstable of the overstable Lucid-X Evaders, and you're going to see them fly against those three discs and stack up very well. So let's go to the video because there's a ton of it, but before I say that, if you have any questions or comments, please put them below so I can get back to you. And I want to take a second and thank Dynamic Discs and the Hazy Shade for all the support this year and the previous few years, in fact. Really appreciate you standing by me. Thank you for all the support, getting the tools in my hand to put these videos out, as well as finally competing the last few weeks. I feel completely blessed from the support you've given, and I just appreciate it. So look them up, dynamicdiscs.com or hazyshade.com for any of your disc golf needs. If they don't have it, they might be able to get it for you, so send them a note. As always, thanks for watching. Let's go to the video. Okay, here are some wing comparisons. I want you just to look at the overall shapes. The Trident obviously sticks out, that thick rim, very deep slope underneath. XXX versus Spark, shoulder looks pretty similar. XXX just being a little bit wider again on that rim. LX Evader is a very different shape overall from the rest of them because I think it is just a different type of fairway in general, but the plastic brings out that stability. Trident just very much sticks out with how thick that rim is, and that does give it that unique feel. Spark and Evader, because they're similar style of discs, and the design, supposed design are pretty similar, and then old versus new XXX. Going out to the course, we're going to start with some XXX comparisons. These first three throws are about 65-70% power. I'm just trying to get them out to about the 225 range. As you're going to see, both of these are going to fly pretty similar flights overall, very overstable. The XXX may be just a little more aggressive, but again, this is a very beat-up XXX. Here's XXX versus Spark. Spark was up a little bit higher, a little wider, but you can see very similar fading pattern. Spark might be on actually a slightly more aggressive fade, but that also could have been a height. Pretty similar overall flight there. And then XXX versus Evader. And this is going to be the first example of just the Lucid-X Evader in this comparison is just going to be more overstable than the rest of the discs. It's got a more aggressive fade. It wants to dip its wing faster. We're going to go up to about 90% power here, trying to get right around 290-ish range. You're going to see the Trident on a slightly nose-up angle. It does flip up more. XXX is going to have that more aggressive flight before it gets to the ground. Here's versus the Spark. Again, the Spark doesn't turn up quite as much as the Trident. The Trident's going to give a straighter flight, but it does still have that nice, reliable fade. Just gives you a little bit more distance, a little more glide because of that straight line. And then here again is here is the Lucid-X Evader again, and just another example. That wing has already started dipping. It's already tracking left. It's going to get to the ground a lot faster. Much more overstable disc than the other ones in this comparison. Triple X versus Trident. This is a flex shot. You're going to see the Triple X. I could not have done this with an old Triple X. I tried. I could not have gotten it to flip this far out. It does fade at the end, but not nearly as aggressively as those old runs would have. Here's Spark versus Evader. Very similar releases, but the Evader never flips up and turns over like the Spark does, and it's going to end up a good 30 feet shorter than any of the other discs on this comparison, just because of how much more overstable it is. Here's Triple X versus Evader. I didn't flip the Evader as much as the Triple X, but again, you can just see that extra overstability. It's going to just end up in a different spot than the other three discs in this comparison as well. And a bonus, old Triple X versus new Triple X. They are going to disappear from view. Sorry about that for a second, but you can see that aggressive wing fade. That newer Triple X is definitely more overstable than the old one, but again, those flat tops are going to be just a different category, much more similar to the Lucid-X Evader in this. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful or informative. If you have any questions, please put them below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.